This is an innovative attempt of mine to learn your favorite book in an interesting and easy way. I have created this book as a story for you. I thank you for subscribing to our channel. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please subscribe now. If you like this book story, please give it a like. Come now, let's travel in thought with the story. In a world where fear held him captive, Ethan embarked on a transformative journey. Guided by the wisdom of feel the fear and do it anyway, he rewrote his beliefs, expanded his comfort zones, and became the hero of his own story. Join us as we delve into Ethan's inspiring and empowering tale of resilience, growth, and self-discovery. From facing fears to embracing failure as feedback, his journey will ignite a spark within you and remind you of your own limitless potential. Get ready to be captivated by a story that will leave you inspired to embark on your own transformative journey. Chapter 1: The Awakening. The morning sun gently peeked through Ethan's bedroom window, casting a warm glow on the worn-out copy of Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway resting on his nightstand. Ethan had been living a life governed by fear and self-doubt for far too long, but today was different. Today marked the beginning of his awakening. As he reached for the book, Ethan's fingers trembled slightly with a mixture of anticipation and apprehension. He knew that delving into its pages would require him to confront the very fears that had held him captive. Yet, a voice deep within urged him forward, whispering that this was the key to unlocking his true potential. With a determined breath, Ethan opened the book and began to read. Each word seemed to resonate with his soul, resonating deeply within him. The author, Susan Jeffers, spoke directly to his fears, offering insights and strategies to overcome them. Ethan couldn't help but feel a glimmer of hope ignite within him. As he absorbed the words on the page, Ethan's mind wandered back to the countless opportunities he had allowed fear to steal away from him. The dream of starting his own business, the chance to travel the world, the desire to pursue a creative passion, all suppressed by the suffocating grip of fear. But today, Ethan decided he would no longer be held hostage by his anxieties. He made a solemn vow to himself: he would feel the fear and do it anyway. With every turn of the page, his determination grew stronger, and the once faint ember of hope burst into a roaring flame of courage. Ethan realized that fear was not an enemy to be avoided but a guidepost on the path to personal growth. It was an opportunity to challenge himself, to step outside his comfort zone and discover the vast untapped reservoirs of strength within. The awakening had begun, and Ethan embraced it with open arms. As the chapter drew to a close, Ethan felt a surge of energy coursing through his veins. The words he had just read resonated deeply within him, affirming his newfound resolve. He closed the book momentarily, taking a moment to reflect on the significance of this awakening. The room seemed brighter, and Ethan's spirit felt lighter as he gazed out the window. The world appeared full of endless possibilities, awaiting his embrace. He knew that his journey would not be without challenges, but armed with the knowledge and inspiration from the book, he felt ready to face them head-on. With renewed purpose, Ethan picked up the book again, eager to dive into the next chapter. He knew that this awakening was just the beginning, a catalyst for the transformative journey that lay ahead. Ethan was determined to seize every opportunity, conquer every fear, and rewrite his story with courage as the protagonist. As he turned the page, Ethan's heart swelled with anticipation. He was ready to embark on a path of self-discovery, empowerment, and fearless action. The awakening had set him on a course to become the best version of himself, and he was prepared to embrace the challenges and triumphs that awaited him. Ethan took a deep breath, feeling a newfound sense of purpose coursing through his veins. The awakening was just the beginning, and he was ready to transform his life one chapter at a time. Chapter 2: Unmasking the Fear. Ethan sat cross-legged on his favorite armchair, absorbed in the pages of the book. As he delved deeper into Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, he realized that fear had been lurking in the shadows of his life, dictating his choices and limiting his potential. Unmasking the fear meant unraveling the layers that had been carefully woven over the years. Ethan took a moment to reflect on his past, tracing the origins of his anxieties. He discovered that his fear stemmed from a fear of failure, a fear of rejection, and a fear of the unknown. Susan Jeffers' words resonated with him as she revealed that fear was not a reflection of weakness but a natural part of the human experience. It was a protective mechanism designed to keep us safe, but it often held us back from pursuing our dreams and embracing opportunities for growth. Ethan took out a pen and a notebook, determined to confront his fears head-on. He began by listing all the areas of his life where fear had held him captive. The list grew longer with each passing moment: fear of speaking up, fear of taking risks, fear of judgment. The paper was a testament to the battles he had yet to fight. But as Ethan continued writing, a newfound sense of empowerment started to take hold. He realized that fear only had power over him because he had allowed it to. He recognized that he had the ability to change his perception and response to fear, and in doing so, reshape his reality. Armed with this revelation, Ethan made a conscious decision to reframe his relationship with fear. Instead of avoiding it, he would lean into it, acknowledging its presence but refusing to let it dictate his choices. The more he embraced fear, the more he understood that it was a catalyst for growth, not a barrier. With this newfound perspective, Ethan began to challenge his fears one by one. He enrolled in a public speaking workshop, determined to overcome his fear of being heard. He raised his hand in meetings, sharing his ideas with a newfound confidence. Each small victory was a step towards unmasking the fear that had held him captive. As Ethan confronted his fears, he realized that many of them were built upon irrational beliefs and assumptions. Susan Jeffers had taught him to question these beliefs and challenge their validity. He started to replace negative self-talk with positive affirmations, reinforcing his strengths and nurturing self-belief. Bit by bit, the layers of fear began to peel away, revealing a truer, more authentic version of Ethan. He discovered that the more he confronted his fears, the stronger he became. The once daunting obstacles transformed into opportunities for growth and self-discovery. Through this process, Ethan learned that fear was not the enemy, it was merely a signpost pointing him towards the areas where he could experience the most growth. It was an invitation to step outside his comfort zone and embrace the unknown. As Ethan closed the book, a sense of liberation washed over him. Unmasking the fear had been a transformative journey, and he realized that the power to shape his destiny lay within him. He knew that the path ahead would still hold challenges, but armed with newfound understanding and the tools Susan Jeffers had provided, he was ready to face them head-on. With renewed determination, Ethan rose from his armchair. He looked at the list he had made, no longer seeing it as a compilation of fears, but rather a roadmap to his liberation. Unmasking the fear was the first step towards reclaiming his life and embracing a future filled with endless possibilities. As he walked out into the world, Ethan carried with him a newfound sense of empowerment. The unmasking of his fears had unlocked a wellspring of courage and resilience within him. He was no longer bound by the limitations of fear, but instead driven by the belief that he could overcome any obstacle and create the life he truly desired. Chapter 2 had come to an end, but the journey towards self-transformation had just begun. Ethan was ready to face the next chapter of his life with unwavering determination and a spirit unburdened by fear. Chapter 3: Stepping into the Unknown. Ethan stood at the entrance of a small auditorium, his heart pounding in his chest. Today marked a significant milestone on his journey of self-transformation, his first public speaking engagement. It was an opportunity for him to step into the unknown, to face his fears head-on, and to prove to himself that he was capable of more than he had ever imagined. As he took a deep breath, Ethan reminded himself of Susan Jeffers' words, "Feel the fear and do it anyway." With those words echoing in his mind, he stepped through the doors, determined to embrace the challenge that lay before him. The room was filled with a mix of strangers, all eyes turned towards the stage. Ethan felt a surge of adrenaline, his palms growing clammy. But this time, he refused to let fear paralyze him. He knew that it was normal to feel nervous. It was a sign that he was stepping outside his comfort zone and onto the path of growth. As he stepped up to the podium, Ethan's voice quivered slightly as he introduced himself. However, with each passing moment, his confidence grew. He spoke about his personal journey, sharing his experiences and the lessons he had learned along the way. The audience listened intently, captivated by his vulnerability and authenticity. With each word spoken, Ethan felt a sense of empowerment. The fear that had once held him back was now transformed into a surge of adrenaline and excitement. He had tapped into a wellspring of courage that he never knew existed within him. The realization that he could face his fears and come out stronger on the other side filled him with a sense of invincibility. When Ethan concluded his speech, the room erupted into applause. The audience recognized the bravery it took for him to share his story, and they appreciated the vulnerability and wisdom that he had imparted. But more importantly, Ethan felt a deep sense of fulfillment within himself. He had faced his fear of public speaking and emerged victorious. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Ethan continued to seek out opportunities to step into the unknown. He participated in workshops, attended networking events, and engaged in conversations that would have once made him uncomfortable. Each time, he reminded himself of his mantra, "Feel the fear and do it anyway." With each new experience, Ethan's confidence soared. He realized that the more he challenged himself, the more he grew. Stepping into the unknown became a source of excitement rather than apprehension. He understood that growth and fulfillment lay just beyond the boundaries of his comfort zone. Embracing the unknown became Ethan's modus operandi. He recognized that life was an ever-evolving journey, filled with twists and turns, and it was in those moments of uncertainty that the greatest opportunities for growth presented themselves. He embraced the idea that he didn't need to have all the answers or know the outcome before taking a leap. Instead, he trusted in his ability to adapt and navigate whatever came his way. As he reflected on his journey, Ethan realized that stepping into the unknown had become a way of life, a continuous process of exploration and self-discovery. Each new step brought him closer to becoming the person he aspired to be. Chapter 3 had come to an end, but Ethan's story was far from over. With each step into the unknown, he became more resilient, more courageous, and more attuned to his own potential. He knew that the path ahead would still hold uncertainties, but armed with his newfound perspective, he was ready to face them with unwavering determination. Ethan left the auditorium with a renewed sense of purpose and a spring in his step. He was no longer afraid to embrace the unknown. Instead, he saw it as an opportunity to expand his horizons and live life to the fullest. The journey towards self-transformation had taken another leap forward, and Ethan was eager to see what lay ahead on his path of growth and possibility. Chapter 4: Embracing Vulnerability. Ethan found himself standing at the threshold of an intimate gathering, surrounded by close friends. It was a pivotal moment in his journey of self-transformation, an opportunity to embrace vulnerability and deepen his connections with those who mattered most. In the past, Ethan had built walls around himself, fearing that showing vulnerability would make him appear weak or expose him to potential hurt. But as he delved into the pages of Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, he realized that vulnerability was not a flaw to be hidden but a strength to be celebrated. With Susan Jeffers' words echoing in his mind, Ethan took a deep breath and decided to let go of his reservations. He knew that true connection and growth could only be achieved when he allowed himself to be seen, flaws and all. As the evening unfolded, Ethan shared his fears, dreams, and struggles with his friends. He let down the barriers that had long separated him from them, allowing himself to be vulnerable and authentic. To his surprise, instead of judgment or rejection, he found love, empathy, and acceptance. His friends, inspired by his courage, reciprocated by sharing their own vulnerabilities. They spoke of their own fears, insecurities, and dreams. In that safe space, a profound sense of connection and understanding blossomed, a bond forged through shared vulnerability. Ethan realized that vulnerability was not a sign of weakness but a testament to his strength and authenticity. By embracing vulnerability, he opened the door to deeper connections and a richer human experience. He understood that it was in his willingness to be vulnerable that he could truly be seen and understood. As days turned into weeks, Ethan carried the lessons of vulnerability into other areas of his life. He started expressing his thoughts and feelings openly, even when it felt uncomfortable. He engaged in conversations that required him to be vulnerable, trusting that it would lead to deeper connections and personal growth. Through vulnerability, Ethan discovered a newfound sense of freedom. The weight of pretense and perfection that he had carried for so long lifted, allowing him to be his true self. He found solace in knowing that he no longer had to hide his fears and insecurities but could embrace them as part of his unique journey. Embracing vulnerability not only enriched Ethan's personal relationships but also extended to his professional life. He began sharing his ideas openly, unafraid of the possibility of rejection or criticism. He recognized that vulnerability was the gateway to innovation and creativity, a powerful tool for growth in all aspects of life. As Ethan reflected on his transformation, he marveled at how vulnerability had become a guiding principle. It had become a source of connection, courage, and self-discovery. Through vulnerability, he had gained a deeper understanding of himself and others, forming meaningful connections that he had once deemed impossible. Chapter 4 had come to an end, but the journey of embracing vulnerability would continue. Ethan knew that there would be moments of discomfort and fear, but he was committed to leaning into them, knowing that vulnerability held the key to a more fulfilling and authentic life. With each vulnerable step he took, Ethan found his relationships deepening, his self-confidence soaring, and his capacity for love and empathy expanding. He knew that vulnerability was not a one-time act but a continuous practice, one that would shape his interactions, his growth, and his understanding of the world around him. As he looked ahead, Ethan smiled, grateful for the transformative power of vulnerability. He was no longer afraid to embrace the depths of his own emotions and share them with others. In vulnerability, he found the courage to truly live, love, and connect with the world. Chapter 5: Leap of Faith. Ethan found himself standing on the edge of a precipice, gazing into the vast expanse below. This moment symbolized a turning point in his journey of self-transformation, a moment that called for a daring leap of faith. As he contemplated taking the leap, Ethan's mind raced with thoughts of doubt and uncertainty. What if he failed? What if he fell? But deep within his heart, a voice whispered, "Feel the fear and do it anyway." With those words echoing in his mind, he summoned the courage to take the plunge. Leaping into the unknown was not just a physical act, it was a metaphor for the risks and challenges he had avoided in the past. It represented the culmination of his newfound belief in his own capabilities. With every fiber of his being, Ethan embraced the concept of taking bold, calculated risks in pursuit of his dreams. Ethan had always dreamt of becoming a professional artist, but fear had held him back from pursuing his passion. However, armed with the lessons he had learned, he decided it was time to take a leap of faith and dedicate himself fully to his art. He enrolled in art classes, attended workshops, and immersed himself in the vibrant world of creativity. Each brushstroke became an act of courage, an expression of his willingness to step outside his comfort zone. With each stroke, Ethan grew bolder, allowing his true artistic voice to emerge. There were moments of frustration and self-doubt, but Ethan refused to let them deter him. He saw setbacks as opportunities for growth and improvement, embracing the mindset that failure was not the end but a stepping stone on the path to success. As he displayed his artwork in local galleries, Ethan faced the judgment of others head-on. He recognized that putting his creations out into the world meant opening himself up to criticism and rejection. Yet, he chose to believe in his talent and vision, knowing that it was worth taking the risk. Through his leap of faith, Ethan discovered a newfound sense of purpose and fulfillment. The act of creating art became a cathartic and transformative process, an expression of his truest self. Each stroke of the brush brought him closer to his dreams, igniting a passion that burned brighter than ever before. Beyond the realm of art, Ethan's leap of faith extended to other areas of his life. He took risks in his relationships, allowing himself to be vulnerable and invest deeply in the connections that mattered most to him. He pursued opportunities for personal and professional growth with unwavering determination, never shying away from the unknown. With each leap of faith, Ethan realized that he was capable of more than he had ever imagined. The limitations he once imposed upon himself were shattered, replaced by a profound belief in his own potential. He understood that by embracing uncertainty and taking calculated risks, he could uncover untapped reservoirs of strength and resilience. As the chapter of his leap of faith came to a close, Ethan stood tall, gazing out at the world he had fearlessly embraced. The journey had been filled with challenges and triumphs, but through it all, he had discovered a newfound zest for life. Ethan knew that there would always be more leaps of faith to take, more opportunities to step into the unknown and confront his fears. But armed with the lessons and experiences gained along the way, he was ready to face them with unwavering courage and a belief that the rewards far outweighed the risks. With a heart filled with gratitude and determination, Ethan took a deep breath and prepared himself for the next leap of faith. He knew that the path ahead would be filled with twists and turns, but he had learned to trust in his own resilience and the transformative power of taking that bold leap into the realm of possibility. Chapter 6: Rewriting Limiting Beliefs. Ethan sat in a quiet corner of his favorite cafe, a journal open before him. As he sipped his coffee, he contemplated the power of beliefs, the invisible scripts that had shaped his perception of himself and the world. It was time to rewrite those limiting beliefs and unleash his true potential. In the journey of self-transformation, Ethan had come to understand that his beliefs acted as filters through which he viewed his experiences. Limiting beliefs had held him back, feeding his doubts and insecurities. But armed with the knowledge he had gained from Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, he was ready to challenge and change them. With a determined spirit, Ethan began to identify the limiting beliefs that had kept him from reaching his full potential. He wrote them down in his journal, confronting each one head-on. He recognized that these beliefs were not truths but self-imposed barriers that stifled his growth. One by one, Ethan examined his limiting beliefs and questioned their validity. He sought evidence that disproved them, searching for examples of individuals who had overcome similar challenges and achieved greatness. He discovered that the world was filled with stories of triumph and resilience, providing him with the inspiration he needed to challenge his own beliefs. Ethan knew that changing his beliefs required consistent effort and rewiring his thought patterns. He started to replace his limiting beliefs with empowering ones. He wrote positive affirmations and repeated them daily, embedding new narratives into his subconscious mind. Each affirmation became a mantra that bolstered his confidence and expanded his vision of what was possible. He internalized phrases such as "I am capable," "I embrace growth and change," and "I am deserving of success." Through repetition, these empowering beliefs became deeply ingrained within him, influencing his thoughts, actions, and ultimately, his outcomes. As he continued to rewrite his limiting beliefs, Ethan noticed a shift in his mindset. The once self-imposed barriers started to crumble, replaced by a sense of possibility and limitless potential. He realized that his beliefs had been holding him back from pursuing his dreams, but now, they were propelling him forward. With his new beliefs as guiding principles, Ethan approached challenges with a renewed sense of optimism and resilience. Instead of viewing obstacles as insurmountable roadblocks, he saw them as opportunities for growth and learning. He embraced the notion that setbacks were not reflections of his worth but valuable feedback to course-correct and improve. As Ethan navigated through life armed with his rewritten beliefs, he noticed a profound transformation within himself. His self-confidence blossomed, radiating in every aspect of his being. He found himself taking on new challenges and seizing opportunities that he once believed were beyond his reach. Ethan's rewiring of limiting beliefs extended beyond his own journey. He became an advocate for others, encouraging them to challenge their own self-imposed limitations. He shared his story, inspiring those around him to embrace the power of positive beliefs and the immense possibilities that awaited them on the other side of their fears. The chapter of rewriting limiting beliefs had come to an end, but the process continued. Ethan understood that beliefs were not fixed, but rather fluid and adaptable. He committed himself to regularly reassessing and rewriting his beliefs to align with his evolving aspirations. With a sense of liberation and an unwavering belief in his potential, Ethan closed his journal. He knew that the journey towards self-transformation was an ongoing process, but armed with his rewritten beliefs, he was prepared to embrace each new chapter of his life with renewed optimism, resilience, and an unwavering belief in his own limitless potential. Chapter 7: Embracing Failure as Feedback. Ethan found himself in the midst of a setback. A project he had poured his heart and soul into had not yielded the expected results. Disappointment washed over him, threatening to dampen his spirits. But this time, something was different. Instead of succumbing to self-doubt, Ethan reminded himself of the powerful lesson he had learned: to embrace failure as feedback. As he reflected on his journey of self-transformation, Ethan realized that failure was not a reflection of his worth or abilities. It was merely an opportunity for growth and learning. He knew that it was through failure that he could gain valuable insights, refine his approach, and ultimately achieve success. With this newfound perspective, Ethan refused to let failure define him. Instead, he saw it as a stepping stone on the path to his goals. He approached his setback with curiosity rather than despair, determined to uncover the lessons hidden within the experience. Ethan took a deep breath and began to dissect the reasons behind the failure. He analyzed his approach, seeking areas for improvement. Rather than dwelling on what went wrong, he focused on what he could do differently in the future. He saw failure as a compass, guiding him towards a more refined and effective strategy. As Ethan embraced failure as feedback, he also recognized the importance of resilience and perseverance. He understood that setbacks were a natural part of the journey, and success often required navigating through failures and obstacles. With each setback, he reminded himself that failure was not the end but a stepping stone towards progress. The process of embracing failure as feedback extended beyond his professional pursuits. Ethan applied the same mindset to his personal life and relationships. He understood that misunderstandings and conflicts were opportunities for growth and deeper connections. Instead of avoiding difficult conversations, he leaned into them, knowing that they held the potential for greater understanding and strengthened bonds. Through embracing failure as feedback, Ethan also discovered the power of self-compassion. He learned to be gentle with himself, acknowledging that everyone makes mistakes and experiences setbacks. He allowed himself to feel the disappointment but refused to let it define him. Instead, he used it as fuel to propel himself forward, armed with newfound wisdom and resilience. With each failure, Ethan not only learned valuable lessons but also developed a stronger sense of self. He realized that his worth was not dependent on external validation or the absence of failure. Instead, it was rooted in his willingness to take risks, learn from his mistakes, and continue moving forward. As Ethan shared his journey with others, he inspired them to embrace failure as feedback as well. He encouraged them to reframe their perspectives and view failures as opportunities for growth and self-improvement. He reminded them that success was not defined by the absence of failure but by the courage to persevere in the face of adversity. Chapter 7 marked a turning point in Ethan's mindset. Failure was no longer something to be feared, but rather an integral part of the path to success. Armed with this perspective, he approached each new endeavor with renewed resilience, knowing that even in the face of setbacks, he would emerge stronger, wiser, and more determined. As Ethan closed the chapter on embracing failure as feedback, he carried with him a profound sense of empowerment. He knew that the journey of self-transformation was not without its challenges, but he was no longer afraid of stumbling along the way. Failure had become a trusted ally, guiding him towards personal growth, and reminding him that his true strength lay in his ability to rise after each fall. Chapter 8: Expanding Comfort Zones. Ethan stood at the threshold of a new adventure, excitement and apprehension intertwining within him. He had come a long way on his journey of self-transformation, and now it was time to push the boundaries of his comfort zone. Chapter 8 marked a pivotal moment and opportunity to explore uncharted territories and discover the untapped potential that lay beyond. With Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway as his guiding compass, Ethan embarked on a series of bold endeavors. He sought out experiences that challenged his preconceived notions and expanded his horizons. Each step outside his comfort zone brought him closer to a life lived to the fullest. Ethan enrolled in dance classes, immersing himself in the rhythm and movement that had once felt foreign to him. The fear of embarrassment and the judgment of others melted away as he embraced the joy of expression. He discovered that the unfamiliar held a world of exhilaration and growth. Venturing beyond his comfort zone extended to his social interactions as well. Ethan reached out to new people, striking up conversations with strangers and attending networking events. He discovered the power of human connection and the profound impact it had on his personal and professional growth. As he expanded his comfort zone, Ethan realized that he had been limiting himself. He saw that growth and transformation resided in the spaces just outside his familiarity. By embracing discomfort, he was able to cultivate resilience, adaptability, and an openness to new perspectives. Ethan also ventured into the world of public speaking, accepting invitations to share his story and insights. The once terrifying prospect became an opportunity to inspire others and refine his communication skills. He recognized that stepping outside his comfort zone was not just about personal growth, but also about making a positive impact on those around him. Each new experience brought both challenges and rewards. There were moments of self-doubt and fear, but Ethan refused to let them hold him back. He knew that greatness existed just beyond the borders of his comfort zone, and he was determined to embrace it fully. As Ethan expanded his comfort zone, he found himself embracing a life of adventure and possibility. He traveled to far-flung destinations, immersing himself in different cultures, and embracing the unfamiliar. Each new encounter broadened his understanding of the world and enriched his perspective. Through expanding his comfort zone, Ethan also discovered a newfound resilience within himself. He realized that the more he challenged himself, the more he adapted to new situations, and the more he grew. He became comfortable with discomfort, knowing that it was a catalyst for personal development. The chapter of expanding comfort zones was a testament to Ethan's commitment to a life of continuous growth and self-discovery. With each leap outside his comfort zone, he unveiled hidden strengths and talents, realizing that he was capable of far more than he had ever imagined. As Ethan closed the chapter, he knew that expanding his comfort zones was not a one-time endeavor but an ongoing journey. He embraced the idea that the comfort zone was not a fixed boundary but a malleable concept, meant to be stretched and expanded. He made a promise to himself to consistently seek out new challenges and opportunities for growth. With a sense of exhilaration and a hunger for new experiences, Ethan looked ahead to the uncharted territories that awaited him. He knew that the journey of self-transformation was not about arriving at a destination but about embracing the ever-evolving process of becoming the best version of himself. Chapter 8 had come to an end, but the journey continued. Armed with a resilient spirit and an openness to the unknown, Ethan was ready to explore new frontiers, expand his comfort zones, and embrace a life of endless possibilities. Chapter 9: Becoming the Hero of His Story. Ethan stood tall, the culmination of his transformative journey shining through his eyes. Chapter 9 marked a significant milestone, the realization that he had become the hero of his own story. He had shed the shackles of fear, rewritten his beliefs, and ventured outside his comfort zone. Now, he was ready to embrace his power and take ownership of his destiny. With the wisdom gained from Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, Ethan recognized that he had the agency to shape his narrative. He was no longer a passive bystander, but an active participant in his own life. He understood that his thoughts, choices, and actions held the power to shape his reality. Ethan embraced the mindset of a hero, a mindset that fueled his courage, resilience, and unwavering belief in his abilities. He recognized that heroes were not without fear, but they faced it head-on, channeling their fears into fuel for growth and transformation. As the hero of his story, Ethan took responsibility for his dreams and goals. He set clear intentions, created actionable plans, and took consistent steps towards their realization. He no longer waited for external validation or permission but took charge of his own destiny. Ethan became a source of inspiration for others, sharing his journey and lessons learned. He encouraged those around him to step into their own power, reminding them that they too had the ability to overcome their fears and become the heroes of their own stories. As he reflected on his journey, Ethan understood that being the hero of his story required resilience in the face of adversity. He embraced challenges as opportunities for growth and transformation, knowing that they were integral to his journey. He remained steadfast, even when the road ahead seemed daunting, drawing strength from his unwavering belief in himself. Ethan also recognized the importance of self-care and self-compassion on his hero's journey. He prioritized his well-being, nurturing his physical, mental, and emotional health. He understood that taking care of himself was not selfish but essential for him to show up as the best version of himself. Becoming the hero of his story also meant embracing the power of gratitude. Ethan cultivated a mindset of appreciation, recognizing the blessings and lessons that each day brought. He celebrated his achievements, no matter how small, and expressed gratitude for the people and experiences that enriched his life. In embracing his hero's journey, Ethan also discovered the importance of community and support. He surrounded himself with like-minded individuals who uplifted and inspired him. He sought out mentors and allies who believed in his potential and provided guidance along the way. As the hero of his story, Ethan understood that his journey was not a solitary one. He realized the power of collaboration and unity, fostering connections that fueled his growth and contributed to the collective journey of others. Chapter 9 marked a new chapter in Ethan's life, an embodiment of his transformation and a testament to his unwavering commitment to personal growth. As the hero of his story, he was poised to face the challenges, embrace the victories, and continue evolving into the best version of himself. With each new day, Ethan lived with a sense of purpose, knowing that he had the power to shape his reality and create a meaningful impact in the world. He approached life with a courageous heart, a resilient spirit, and an unwavering belief in the hero within. As he closed this chapter, Ethan carried the knowledge that his journey as the hero of his story would continue to unfold. He knew that there would be obstacles to overcome, lessons to learn, and victories to celebrate. But armed with the lessons from Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, he was prepared to face them all fearlessly and with a determination to make his story one of inspiration, empowerment, and limitless possibilities. Chapter 10: Inspiring Others. Ethan found himself in a position of influence, a result of his transformative journey and the wisdom he had gained from feel the fear and do it anyway. Chapter 10 marked a new chapter, a chapter dedicated to inspiring and empowering others to embark on their own journeys of self-transformation. As he looked back on his own experiences, Ethan realized the power of storytelling. He understood that by sharing his journey, he could ignite a spark within others, reminding them of their own innate potential and the possibilities that lay before them. Ethan became a beacon of inspiration, speaking at conferences, leading workshops, and mentoring those who sought guidance. He shared the lessons he had learned, the importance of embracing fear, rewriting limiting beliefs, expanding comfort zones, and becoming the hero of one's story. Through his words and actions, Ethan encouraged others to step into their power, to face their fears, and to pursue their dreams relentlessly. He reminded them that they were not alone, that their journeys were unique, but their fears and challenges were shared by many. As he inspired others, Ethan recognized the importance of meeting individuals where they were on their own paths. He understood that each person had their own fears and insecurities, and he approached each interaction with empathy and compassion. He listened deeply, offered guidance, and provided a safe space for growth and self-reflection. Ethan encouraged those he inspired to develop a growth mindset and unwavering belief in their ability to learn and adapt. He reminded them that failure was not a measure of their worth, but a stepping stone towards success. He celebrated their victories, no matter how small, and instilled in them the belief that they were capable of achieving greatness. Through his dedication to inspiring others, Ethan witnessed the transformative power of his impact. He saw individuals step out of their comfort zones, confront their fears, and embrace their own journeys of self-discovery. He witnessed their growth, resilience, and the blossoming of their own unique potential. As he inspired others, Ethan understood that the journey of transformation was not linear, it had its ups and downs, twists and turns. He provided support and encouragement during the inevitable setbacks, reminding them to lean into fear and use it as a catalyst for growth. Ethan's commitment to inspiring others extended beyond workshops and conferences. He took an active role in his community, volunteering and lending a helping hand to those in need. He understood the power of collective action and believed in the ripple effect of positive change. As he closed this chapter, Ethan felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He had come full circle from a place of fear and self-doubt to a position of influence and inspiration. He knew that his own journey of self-transformation was ongoing, but it had taken on a new dimension, one that involved uplifting and empowering others. Ethan recognized that the journey of inspiring others was a lifelong commitment. He understood that his own growth was intertwined with the growth of those he inspired. He pledged to continue his work, always seeking new ways to ignite the flame within others and guide them towards their own transformative journeys. With a humble heart and a profound sense of purpose, Ethan looked ahead to the stories waiting to be told, the lives waiting to be inspired. He knew that the impact of his inspiration would ripple far beyond what he could see, touching lives and creating a legacy of courage, resilience, and limitless possibilities. Chapter 10 marked a milestone, an invitation for Ethan to become a catalyst for change, empowering others to embark on their own transformative journeys. With each interaction, each conversation, and each act of inspiration, he moved closer to his vision of a world where individuals embraced their fears, pursued their dreams, and became the best versions of themselves. Epilogue: A Life Transformed. In the epilogue of Ethan's transformative story, we find him standing on a hilltop, a breathtaking vista before him. The sun sets on the horizon, casting a warm glow on the world below. As he gazes out at the beauty of the landscape, Ethan reflects on the incredible journey that brought him to this moment. His life had been transformed in ways he could never have imagined. He had once been held captive by fear, doubt, and limiting beliefs, but now, he stood as a fearless warrior, a hero of his own story. Ethan had faced his fears head-on, embracing them as stepping stones towards growth. He had ventured into the unknown, rewriting his beliefs and expanding his comfort zones. In doing so, he had uncovered untapped reservoirs of strength and resilience within himself. His transformation had not been without challenges and setbacks, but Ethan had learned to view them as opportunities for growth and self-discovery. He had cultivated a growth mindset, embracing the power of failure as feedback and the importance of perseverance. As the hero of his story, Ethan had become an inspiration to others. He had shared his journey, igniting sparks of courage and hope in the hearts of those around him. He had witnessed lives transform, empowered by his words and actions. In the epilogue, Ethan knows that his journey is far from over. The path of self-transformation is continuous, and he remains committed to embracing each new chapter with courage and determination. As the sun sets on this chapter of his life, Ethan looks ahead with gratitude and excitement. He knows that the journey of a life transformed is a journey of endless possibility and boundless growth. With each step, he will continue to inspire others and leave a legacy of courage, resilience, and empowerment. The story of Ethan's transformation is a testament to the power of embracing fear, challenging limiting beliefs, and stepping outside one's comfort zone. It is a reminder that each person holds the power to shape their own narrative and become the hero of their own story. As the sun sinks below the horizon, Ethan takes a deep breath, ready to face whatever lies ahead. With a heart filled with gratitude, a mind open to possibilities, and a spirit fortified by self-belief, he embarks on the next chapter of his extraordinary journey, a life transformed.